Las Vegas when it comes to understanding what might unfold inside the ring this Saturday night at the MGM Grand. There are few better equipped to speak than Keith Thurman. Not only is he a former world champion himself, but he's one of the rare fighters who's been in the ring with both Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. That first-hand experience gives his insight real weight because it's not theoretical. He's felt their punches, read their timing, and dealt with their strengths and weaknesses up close under the spotlight. Back in 2019, Thurman faced a version of Pacquiao that many had already written off due to age. At 40 years old, Manny wasn't supposed to be the same fighter, but he proved otherwise. Just moments into the fight, Pacquiao stunned Thurman with a first-round knockdown, making a loud statement that he still had speed, power, and aggression. The fight went the distance, but that early blow set the tone. By the end of 12 rounds, Pacquiao had edged out a split decision victory, handing Thurman the first and only loss of his professional career. For Thurman, that bout wasn't just a defeat, it was a wake-up call. Pacquiao wasn't just a legend of the past, he was still a legitimate threat in the present. Then in early 2022, Thurman squared off against Mario Barrios, who had just moved up to the welterweight division after a hard-fought loss to Gervonta Davis at super lightweight. The fight showed a different dynamic. Thurman controlled much of the bout, landing sharp shots and demonstrating superior ring IQ. He hurt Barrios on multiple occasions, but Barrios refused to go down easily. In fact, in the 8th round, Barrios landed a crushing body shot that clearly affected Thurman, forcing him to backpedal and reset. Although Thurman won the fight by unanimous decision, Barrios earned respect for his resilience and toughness. With that context in mind, Thurman recently spoke to PPV.com and broke down what he expects to see in the ring between Pacquiao and Barrios. He was quick to point out that Barrios' defense might be the key vulnerability Pacquiao will try to exploit. There are openings, Thurman said matter-of-factly. Manny knows how to find those pockets, those little windows. If Barrios doesn't tighten up, Pacquiao is going to land. Thurman's words carry extra weight, having experienced firsthand how quickly Pacquiao can exploit even a brief lapse in defense. His darting footwork and combination flurries are built for exactly those moments, but then Thurman pulled the conversation in a different direction toward the one question everyone's been asking but no one can answer definitively. Is Manny Pacquiao still Manny Pacquiao? The guy's 46 now, Thurman said, shaking his head. That's not just a number, that's biology. You can't cheat time. There's a saying in this sport, you get old overnight. You go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and something just isn't there anymore. That reflex, that speed, that bounce, it can vanish without warning. He added that it's not about training or willpower at this point, it's about how much is left in the tank and whether Pacquiao can summon it one more time. Still, history tells us it's not entirely impossible. Thurman was quick to mention Bernard Hopkins, the legendary middleweight and light heavyweight champion who won a world title at 48 and defended it at 50. It's not like this hasn't been done, Thurman explained, but it's rare, very rare. And usually, guys who do it like Hopkins rely more on technique and timing than speed and footwork. Manny's style is based on movement, fast bursts, and unpredictability. That makes it even harder to maintain as you age. So while it's not unprecedented, what Manny's attempting is absolutely daunting. But it's not just age that Thurman believes could be an issue, it's the long layoff Pacquiao's had from the sport. When he fought me in 2019, Manny was active, Thurman pointed out, speaking of himself in the third person, as he often does with a grin. He had just fought twice within a year. He was in rhythm. His timing was there. His confidence was high. He rolled right into that camp and brought the fire. Fast forward to 2021, when Pacquiao fought Yordenis Ugas after a 2-year break caused by the pandemic. That fight didn't look the same. He was slower, less fluid, less sharp. That's what concerns me about this fight. This isn't just a comeback, it's another fight after another long stretch away from the ring. That said, Barrios isn't an unbeatable machine either, and Thurman sees real opportunities for Pacquiao if the Filipino great can summon even a fraction of his old self. Barrios has a good jab that's his key, Thurman acknowledged. If he can pump that jab and keep Manny at a distance, he can control the pace. But that's easier said than done. Manny's going to pressure him, test those legs, test that ring awareness. If Barrios wants to win, he has to make Manny work for every inch. It's a strategy that Yugas used effectively. Use range, pick shots carefully, don't get drawn into wild exchanges. Thurman also mentioned that Barrios needs to stay mentally focused throughout the entire fight. Manny knows how to lure guys into chaos, he said. He feints, he bounces, he rushes. And it's disorienting. If you lose composure, even for one round, he'll make you pay. That's something Barrios needs to watch out for. He's a patient fighter, but against someone like Pacquiao, one moment of hesitation can flip the scorecard. He'll need to maintain his range, listen to his corner, and avoid falling into the rhythm that Pacquiao wants to set. Ultimately, Thurman's assessment is measured. He's not counting Manny out, but he's not sugarcoating the reality either. Barrios has the edge on paper, he concluded. He's younger, fresher, naturally bigger, and has been active. But Manny's not just anyone. He's a once-in-a-generation fighter. If he comes in motivated and healthy, he can turn this into a war. But as Thurman emphasized throughout the interview, boxing isn't just about stats, it's about timing, momentum, and who shows up on fight night. As the fight draws near, much attention is being placed on how both fighters have prepared for this moment, not just physically, but mentally. For Barrios, this is arguably the biggest stage of his career. He's defending his title, sure, but he's also standing opposite a global icon. That carries weight. Barrios has reportedly put in an intense training camp, focusing heavily on conditioning and sharpening his jab. His camp knows that facing Pacquiao requires a blend of patience and alertness because Manny isn't just quick with his hands, he's unpredictable. You never know where the punches are coming from. One of Barrios' sparring partners recently said, "You prepare for a textbook fighter, but Manny writes his own textbook in every round." On the other side, Pacquiao's camp has been more private, but sources close to the team say he's been pushing his limits. While most fighters in their mid-40s would be dialing things back, Manny is known for running early mornings, sprinting hills, and logging more rounds in the gym than most fighters half his age. His longtime trainer, Freddie Roach, has been cautiously optimistic. He's not what he was in 2009, Roach reportedly said, but he's sharp. He still has the fight in him. There's a deep emotional drive behind this comeback. Pacquiao isn't returning for money or fame. He's doing it because boxing is part of who he is. It's a final test of his will, and he wants to go out swinging. What's fascinating is the psychological battle that looms. Barrios must strike a balance between respect and aggression. Too much caution, and he'll get overwhelmed. Too much confidence, and he might walk into a trap. For Pacquiao, the challenge is mental as much as physical. Can he trust his body to do what his mind commands? That's what makes this matchup so compelling. It's not just about two athletes trading punches, it's about generations colliding. A young champion with everything to gain versus a legend with nothing left to prove but everything still to fight for. The implications of this fight ripple far beyond just wins and losses. If Barrios wins convincingly, he won't just defend his belt, he'll take a massive step toward boxing superstardom. He'll be known as the man who retired Manny Pacquiao for good. That's a headline that sticks with you for life. On the flip side, if Pacquiao pulls off the upset, it would be one of the most inspiring moments in boxing's recent history. A 40 walking through the fire to reclaim a world title, it's the kind of story that would be told for decades. His legacy is already cemented, but this could become the perfect exclamation point. And then, of course, there's the fans, the lifeblood of fight night. In Las Vegas, the atmosphere is electric. The MGM Grand will be packed with supporters from both camps. Filipino fans are flying in from around the world, treating this. For many, watching Pacquiao fight live is a once-in-a-lifetime event. On the other side, Barrios will have a strong backing too, especially from Texas and the Mexican-American community, who are eager to see their hometown fighter rise to the occasion. The chants, the flags, the buzz in the crowd, it's all part of the theater that makes boxing nights like this unforgettable. As the countdown ticks toward fight night, one thing is certain: this isn't just a bout between two fighters. It's a clash of eras, a test of time versus youth, and a story layered with history, risk, emotion, and pride. For Barrios, it's a golden opportunity to write his name in the books. For Pacquiao, it's a chance to defy nature one last time. to remind the world of who he is and what he's always stood for: courage, heart, and the unshakable will to rise again, no matter how many times the world says it's over.